say anybody who adopts that Canaanite religion, that Hamite religion, that Egyptian religion, is in trouble. Okay? And I find that with a lot of the Hebrews, the ones that are confused, brothers and sisters. If you found out recently that you are a Hamite or a Hebrew, Jesus is very real, and he's not happy with what you're doing right now. Okay? Repent, turn from what you're doing, and go back to what you once knew. Okay? It's just that simple. I've heard regarding these people that they think that Europeans, that Jesus is a European thing. No, it's not, because not even the Europeans. None of our founding fathers were Christians. They were not. Just because you build a church house and sit in it every Sunday, which is not even the day that God told us to. And it's kind of funny because then there's a King Cyrus, so you know that King Cyrus is most likely physical, but obviously the Prince of Persia is something that is spiritual. That's why I was talking about the deities and their territory. So it paints a vivid picture for what's going on here. And then you hear about a very interesting side of what Michael is, because Jesus then comes, and I know it's Jesus because of his attire, the way he's dressed, the way he speaks, and he's speaking on behalf of God. So everything that he's wearing, it's just, that's Jesus. So he comes to him and he explains to Daniel what's going to take place. And there's going to be this war like never before. Michael is also really interesting because you see a new light of Michael, and that Michael is what holds back the devil with Jesus. So then he goes into detail explaining that Michael is Daniel's spiritual prince. So it's and that realm of people. So there's 4 quarters of the world. Okay, and most people don't know this when dealing with prophecy. And each in the Aramaic and the Semitic languages, Negev means south, Yam means west, and then there's certain areas that they look like they're cardinal directions, but they're also prophetic. So here he's telling him that all of these terrible things are going to take place like never before, okay? And that his people are going to be delivered.
Contact with enemy.
Now I love this part here. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal up the book until the time of the very end. Okay? Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Then I, Daniel, looked, and there stood 2 others on the sides of the riverbank. Okay? So what I love about this is the Lord wants us to be turning people to righteousness, and he wants us to have knowledge. Okay? And some of the first people that he likes to shine upon others who have knowledge. Isaiah says that his people die from lack of knowledge. It's dangerous stuff, because it shows that we are like-minded with him, and that we know him, and that he knows us. So those will be the people that do not get turned away. Okay? And love is number 1. So if you understand love, if you understand the love of Jesus, really that's the simplicity of him. Really, it is. All right. Next, I want to talk about these two others, right? I'm assuming that they're angels or man-like figures.
Friendly airstrike incoming.
They are above the water, and you're gonna see a huge pattern with being above the water. Noah was above the water. Jesus was above the water. When Matthew went to walk on the water, not Matthew, I'm sorry, Simon, he began to sink when he took his eyes off of Jesus. Symbolic. It's all symbolic.
Enemy contact.
Our goal is to stay on top of the water, you guys. We don't want to endure the floods. It's war underneath that water. Fast forward to Daniel 12 and 10. Many shall be purified, made white, and refined. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from that time that the daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. But you go your way till the end, for you shall rest and will arise to your inheritance at the end of the days. Okay? Okay, so here at the top you see many shall be purified, made white, and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly. Okay? And none of the wicked shall understand, right? But the wise shall understand. Now, with this, many shall be purified. That means that there's going to be kind of a forcefulness that's going to happen, because the Lord said that when you make a covenant with him, when you give yourself to him, your body is no longer your own, which is, this is the husbandry that the Lord is actually talking about, not a perverted version that man likes to use for their own benefits. Okay? So I've done this breakdown of the word religion, and it means to be married or to have an oath with, okay? To be under contract with. So when you make a covenant with the Lord and you say, I accept you, Jesus, and I put down my life for you, he holds you to those words. You made a covenant with him. So he's going to get out of you what he's going to give you before your time's up. And that's actually very loving, because if he wanted to, he could just cut people off and not get anything out of you. So that purified, they're going to be made white, some of the people, right? And refined. So right here in 11 it says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away. So the daily sacrifice are those who do the will of God. Okay, that is those that the aroma of people doing good and doing righteousness. It's very pleasing to the Lord. Very pleasing aroma. So it's an appealing fruit to pick for first fruits. You know what I mean? They're ready to go. So when the daily sacrifice is taken away, okay, and the abomination of desolation is set up, okay, so that's secondary. First, the people get taken out. That's first and foremost. So I'm going to be going through some breakdowns. Also, I wanted to talk about rest. I talked about rest in the previous video. Rest is just another term for the rapture. It's used in many Bible verses. You can use a filter or Strong's Concordance to filter out the Bible verses so you can see them all lined up. But rest is just another version of the rapture, another word, or rather the word. Basically, it's spoken about in all throughout the Old Testament in Genesis, there was a day that was set aside for rest, and it was actually referred to, I believe, by Paul. It was spoken about by Paul, and also David, I believe, in Psalms. That's such a long book, but he goes through rest a lot as well. He's awaiting this rest period. However, this was saved for the end of days. Okay, you guys? So I'm really excited.